Go live. I'm going to call on Taryn. Can you just collect what's in front here, the name tags and the papers up front, and just tuck them to the side, please? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Source Protection Authority meeting, Friday, February 27th, 2026. I invite Board Member Donna Cridlin to read the land acknowledgement, please.
Thank you, Chair. The Niagara Peninsula watershed is situated within the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Adirondack, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties number 3, 4, and 381, and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, the watershed is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. At the NPCA, we strive to further our commitment to shared stewardship of natural resources and deep appreciation of Indigenous culture and history in the watershed in small ways every day.
Thank you, Donna. I will now call the meeting at 9:02, and at this time I will ask the clerk for a roll call, please.
Vice Chair Beatty. Member Clark. Member Cridland.
Here.
Member Foster.
Here.
Member Grant. Member O'Neill. Member Seaborn. Member Tattison. Member Witteveen.
Present.
That's quorum, Chair.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder on a motion to approve today's agenda, that the agenda for the Source Protection Authority Board meeting held on February 27th, 2026 be approved? Got a mover and seconder? Moved by Vice Chair Beatty, second by Member Foster. All in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. Declarations of conflict of interest. Does anyone have a conflict they'd like to declare? Seeing none. Approval of the minutes. Need a motion or a seconder for the minutes for the Source Protection Board Authority meeting held on April 25th, 2025 be approved. Can I get a mover and seconder for that? Moved by Member Seaborn, second by Member Whitavine. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Correspondence, we have one item of correspondence regarding the appointment of chair for the Niagara Peninsula Source Protection Committee. The newly appointed chair has joined us this morning, and I'd like to invite April Jeffs to the podium to introduce herself. Welcome, April.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and to be, for me, this new building. I know we used to meet years ago when I was a board member in Balls Falls and prior to that in Welland, so this is great. And I'm just really excited to be appointed as the chair of the Source Protection Committee. It's great to see familiar faces. Member Beatty, I see you kind of processing our time together on the NPCA. And yeah, it's great. Just a couple quick comments. I met with Tom, I think it was about a week and a half ago, and he went through a really comprehensive slideshow. And my time as mayor of Wainfleet, a regional councillor, and then being on the Conservation Authority, I felt like I had a pretty good high-level understanding of the Source Protection Committee. I know now that it's been established over the years, it's not as involved as it once was, but I am looking very forward to being the chair and working with the committee, working with the municipalities if, you know, the need arises, and then just being here for the board. So thank you again. I really appreciate it, and it's good to see everybody, and I hope the people who were at Regional Council last night are well rested and ready for the weekend, I'm sure. So thank you.
Thank you, April, and welcome aboard. Can I get a mover and seconder on a motion to receive the correspondence? Moved by Member Cridlin, seconded by Member Grant. The motion that correspondence dated February 9th, 2026 from the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks regarding chair of the Niagara Peninsula Source Protection Committee appointment be received. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. And I see that Member Tattison is present now, so we have a full board authority meeting this morning. There are no presentations, are no delegations, no consent items, discussion items. Report SPA-01-26, SPC member appointment. We have a report before us seeking a reappointment. Carmen Vega, representing the City of Hamilton on the Niagara Peninsula Source Protection Committee. Are there any questions for staff at this time? Seeing none, can I get a mover and seconder on the motion before us? Moved by Member Whitavine, second by Member Grant. The motion that the Source Protection Authority reappoint Ms. Carmen Vega to represent the City of Hamilton on Niagara Peninsula Source Protection Committee. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. Under new business, does anyone have any items under new business to bring forward? Seeing none, there isn't a closed session this morning, and I will seek mover and seconder for adjournment of the Source Protection meeting this morning at 9:10. Moved by Vice Chair Beatty, seconded by Member Seaborn. All those in favor? That is carried unanimously. We'll just take a couple minutes here and switch gears to the annual general meeting here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority Annual General Meeting on February 27th, 2026. A couple misprints here. Thank you very much. It's now 9:12. I will call this meeting to order and let the clerk do a roll call. Thank you.
Vice Chair Beatty? Member Clark? Member Cridland?
Here?
Member Foster? Member Grant?
Here.
Member O'Neill?
Present.
Member Seaborn?
Present.
Member Tattison?
Present.
Member Woodavine?
Present, thank you.
And Chair Metcalf?
And present. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. I'd like to propose a friendly amendment to the order of presentations so that we begin with item 9.2. Can I get a mover and seconder on the following motion? That the agenda for the full board authority meeting held on February 27th, 2026 be amended to address item 9.1 immediately following item 9.2. Can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Moved by member Seaborn, seconded by member Woodavine. All those in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. Declarations of conflict of interest. Does anyone have a conflict of interest to declare? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3. And this is me. So conclusion of business of 2025. Good morning. It is my pleasure to be with you today at our annual general meeting to reflect on the past year and recognize the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority's continued efforts to deliver meaningful conservation outcomes across the watershed. One theme that holds true year after year is collaboration brings partners, municipalities, landowners, volunteers, and staff together to steward the land and water we all depend on. This year, NPCA has demonstrated leadership beyond our watershed through the launch of the Lake Ontario Coastal Resilient Pilot Project, a multi-jurisdictional initiative focused on advancing climate-ready shorelines by combining local knowledge with shared technical expertise. This work strengthens our ability to understand coastal flooding and erosion risks while remaining grounded in local accountability. Here at home, the NPCA surpassed its 10-year land acquisition goal, securing more than 125 hectares of new protected conservation lands across Niagara, Haldimand, and Hamilton, delivering long-term ecological value and public benefit that will endure for generations. The NPCA has also advanced a watershed-wide approach to invasive species management, leading the Niagara Peninsula Phragmites management area and working with partners across the watershed to strengthen coordination and guide long-term response. None of this work is possible, of course, without strong financial partnerships and clear focus on long-term financial stability. In 2025, the NPCA secured $3.9 million in grant funding and generated $5.5 million in self-generated revenue, a reflection of both external confidence in our work and the dedication of our staff. I also want to recognize the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation, whose growing support continues to strengthen our shared vision and impact. When we look at the year as a whole, which stands out as a strong foundation we've built together and that gives us confidence as we look ahead. This AGM also marks the final meeting as chair of the NPCA board. It has been my privilege to serve during a period of meaningful progress, and I want to thank my fellow board members, and I want to thank staff for their professionalism, collaboration, and commitment to the conservation and service of our communities. I'd now like to invite CAO Lee Yates to provide remarks on our 2025 successes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I reflect on 2025, I'd like to acknowledge the tremendous achievements that strengthened our organization and expand our ability to serve communities across the Niagara Peninsula watershed. At its core, the role of conservation authorities is to manage natural resources on a watershed basis, protect people and property and the environment. Over the past year, the NPCA continued to deliver on its mandate through an integrated approach that brings together science, land stewardship, natural hazard management, and public engagement. From a public safety perspective, 2025 was a strong year of delivery. We completed major floodplain mapping work, providing municipalities and residents with updated tools to better understand flood risk and plan for the future. At the same time, our integrated watershed monitoring program continued to advance, strengthening the scientific foundation that supports our restoration, planning, and climate resilience work. Managing NPCA lands for long-term sustainability also remained a priority, and this past year we initiated the Beamer Memorial Conservation Area Management Plan, engaging the community to help guide the future of this important place in a way that balances ecological integrity with public use. Partnerships remained central to our success. Our planning staff worked closely with municipalities across the watershed, reinforcing our role as a trusted partner in land use planning. This collaborative approach is also reflected in our ongoing partnership with Parks Canada and Niagara-on-the-Lake at the Niagara Shores Park, where long-term stewardship is grounded in shared responsibility and trust. One of the most exciting partnership-driven initiatives last year was Trees for All, which received full municipal support across our watershed. Through strong collaboration and community engagement, this program continues to expand tree cover and deliver lasting ecological benefits across our water. Tribute to Morgan's Point that was curated by our dedicated conservation area staff. This event was rooted in respect and strengthened relationships with Indigenous communities, reminding us that conservation is inseparable from history, culture, and reconciliation. Connecting people to nature remains central to our work as well, and through initiatives such as the Parks Nature Prescription Program and expanded access passes, we helped reduce barriers and ensured more people can experience and benefit from nature. I'm incredibly proud of our team. Their professionalism, their dedication allowed us to meet and in many cases exceed our goals, while continuing to demonstrate leadership and collaboration across the organization. As we move into 2026, our momentum is strong, our partnerships continue to grow, and our impact is greater than ever. Thank you to our staff, our board of directors, the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation, and our partners for your continued commitment. Together, we will continue to protect people, property, and the environment while building a healthier, more resilient watershed for generations to come. Thank you, Chair Metcalf.
Thank you, Leilani. Can I get a mover and seconder to formally conclude the 2025 business year and declare the chair and vice chair seats vacant? Can I get a mover? Moved by Vice Chair Beatty, seconded by Member Tattison. All those I'll read the motion that the Board of Directors conclude the business of 2025 and further that the chair and vice chair seats be declared vacant. All those in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. So now we'll call on CEO Lee Yates to assume chair for the elections and call the 2025 business portion of the meeting to order.
Thank you. And once again, we'll ask the clerk to do a roll call. We want to make sure everybody is here and listed. So over to Manager Davis.
Third time's the charm. All right. Member Beatty? Member Clark?
Still here.
Member Cridland?
Present.
Member Foster?
Present.
Member Grant?
Present.
Member Metcalf?
Present.
Member O'Neill?
Present.
Member Seaborn?
Present.
Member Tattison?
Present.
Member Woodavine?
Present, thank you.
and that's quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. So elections and appointments of officers. So due to rotation requirements set forth in the Conservation Authorities Act, eligible members for each position are identified based on municipality. Members representing the City of Hamilton and the Regional Municipality of Niagara are eligible for chair in 2026, and those members representing Haldimand County and the Regional Municipality of Niagara are eligible for vice chair. Before we begin with the elections and appointments, I'll ask the clerk to provide a brief overview of the procedure for election of officers as defined in our administrative bylaw. Manager Davis.
Thank you, CAO Delegates. So Appendix B for the procedure of election of officers starts with the appointment of scrutineers. So we have two of our directors who have made themselves available to scrutinize ballots should we need to call a vote. I had sent some instructions previously for folks who may be attending online that those votes could be sent directly via email to mdavis@npca.ca, which the scrutineers will review, and then we will permanently delete those upon conclusion of the votes. So for election of board chair and vice chair, we will start with election of the chair. Nominations will be called 3 times and only require a mover. Once the nomination period has been called 3 times, it will be closed with requiring a mover and a seconder, and each board member nominated will be asked if they accept this nomination. Board members must be present to accept the nomination, and in the event of an election, each nominee will be permitted 3 minutes to speak to the position of chair in the order of alphabetical listing of surnames.
Thank you. So in the event of multiple nominees, as the clerk has noted, requiring a vote for the position, scrutineers are appointed for oversight of the ballot tally process. Can I get a mover and seconder for the motion that in the event of a vote for the position of chair and or vice chair, Natalie Green, Director, Watershed Strategies and Climate Change, and David DeLuce, Director of Planning and Development, will act as scrutineers? Can I get a mover? Metcalf, thank you, and a seconder down at Tattison. A call in favor? Carried, thank you. Moving into elections, I'll call for nominations 3 times, as noted in the instructions. May I call for a nomination for chair? Nomination for chair? Member Seaborn?
Thank you, Chair Liani. I'd like to move that perhaps Member Foster could take the position of chair this term.
Thank you, Member Seaborn. Member Foster, do you accept that nomination? Yes. Okay. Any other nominations? Member Tattison?
I nominate Member Beatty.
Thank you, Member Tattison. Member Beatty, do you accept the nomination? Any other calls for nominations? Calls for nominations? Okay, thank you. So at this time, I'll look to the clerk just to confirm. We need a mover and seconder to close the nominations and then offer each an opportunity to speak, correct? A mover, Metcalf, a seconder, Woodavine. Thank you. We'll close the nominations. And as per process, we'll start with Member Beatty and then Member Foster. So I yield the floor to Member Beatty.
Thanks to my nominator. Thanks to all the members of the board, and thank you to the staff. It's been an interesting 15 years. April reminded me fairly clearly of my first meeting, and she was here, and it was an interesting run. There was some good times, and there was some difficult times. But I really thought that coming out of the AGM's review and recommendations, that this organization went through a rebuilding and a restructuring that would carry it, and I think it will, carry it for the next 25 years of providing good advice and providing services to our communities. I really think, I had thought up until the Premier decided to do something different, that this organization would grow and prosper for the next 25 years. And it's because of the structural changes that we've implemented over the last couple of years. So I thank you all. I thank the board members for their support. I thank the chairman for his support and the senior staff. It's been an interesting and wonderful experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Beatty. Member Foster.
Yes, thank you, and to the board and to all staff that are here as well. I have to echo what Member Beatty has said. It certainly has been an interesting number of years. Myself and a number of other members have been on for the last 8 years. We've dealt with the Ombudsman report. We've dealt with a wide variety of differing things that have come through, and this organization today is way stronger than what it was 8 years ago. So, and that's because of the hard work that all of you guys do. Listen, the world changed back last October and November when it comes to conservation authorities. There's some incredibly difficult negotiations are going to have to go on over the next while. I really feel, I truly feel that it's important that Niagara has a strong say at that. So that is why I put my name forward. I have been chair for 2 years previously. I think I did an okay job, but that'll be up to the board to decide if it's appropriate to do this at this time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Foster. At this time, the clerk will hand out the ballots for voting. I just want to confirm for those online, do you have the email address, Melanie's email address, to cast your vote? Thumbs up from everybody. Thank you very much. What about O'Neill? Member O'Neill, do you have Melanie's email address that she had sent earlier?
I do, yes.
Perfect. Thank you. For clarification, the candidates are in alphabetical order. Candidate A is Member Beatty. Candidate B is Member Foster. And those online can just note the names in the email. And an X is acceptable. Thank you, and we have the results of the election. The majority of the votes have appointed Member Foster as Chair of the NPCA Board of Directors for 2026. We have a motion before us that Member Foster, Rob Foster, be appointed as Chair of the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority Board of Directors for 2026. Can I get a mover? Seaborn, and seconder Metcalf. And all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. The next important position up is for the Vice Chair of the Authority. So a reminder, this position can be filled by representatives from Haldimand County and Regional Municipality of Niagara are eligible. So I'll call for nominations 3 times. Do I? Yeah.
I would like to nominate John Metcalf.
John, do you accept?
I will, thank you.
Second call for nominations? Third call for nominations? Okay, so I'll have a mover and seconder for closing the nominations. A mover? Mover to close nominations, Taddison. Seconder, Witteveen, thank you. Would you like to say a few words, or we can?
Certainly not a man of many words, but thank you, Member Foster, for nominating me. And we are headed for maybe some turbulent times in this part of the province with certain things going on with municipalities and the watershed and the conservation authorities in itself. And with the many meetings that I've attended and the knowledge and information gained, I think it would be an asset that to support the board, to support Chair Foster in navigating these turbulent waters. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. So I've confirmed already motion? Yes, thank you, keeping me on track. Okay. Sorry, remind me, Melanie, did I do that? Member Metcalf be appointed as Vice Chair? Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so appointment to Conservation Ontario for 2026. Next, we'll confirm appointments to the Conservation Ontario Council. And the motion is that Chair Foster, Rob Foster, Chair of the NPCA for 2026, or Vice Chair John Metcalf, acting as his designate, be the authority's voting delegate to Conservation Ontario, and further that the Chief Administrative Officer be the alternate delegate. Can I get a mover to that motion? I see Cridlin, second. Foster, all in favor? Thank you, very much carried. Appointments to the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation. NPC has 2 appointments to the foundation that maintain full voting authority on the board, and 1 appointment may serve in an ex officio. Staff have received an expression of interest from Member Cridlin. Thank you. Is there another expression of interest for the second appointment to the foundation? Looking for a set. It's an amazing organization. We have great things coming this year. Seaborn, thank you. Member Seaborn. And ex officio capacity? The chair? Chair? Yep, chair. Okay, wonderful. We have two voting, but there can be another but non-voting. Yes, there can be a third but non-voting if you would like to. Okay, Taddison is non-voting. Okay. So we now have a motion before us that the following board members be appointed to the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation for 2026. Member Donna Cridland, Member Michelle Seaborn, Member Taddison, and Chair Foster as ex officio. Can I get a mover? Metcalf, second. Grant, all in favor? Carried, wonderful, thank you. Moving along, Finance Committee. So according terms of reference for the Finance Committee shall have a minimum of 5 members. All board members are welcome to attend the Finance Committee meetings, but only appointed members will be afforded voting rights on matters before the committee. If members express interest in joining the committee later, a motion can be passed to add them to the committee. We have received an expression of interest from Member Cridland. Thank you. So we're looking for 4 more members.
Sorry, just to clarify for the committees that the chair and vice chair do automatically sit in. So we have Member Cridland, Chair Foster, Vice Chair Metcalf, and then 2 positions, at minimum 2 positions. So if there's more interest, of course, members are welcome. But
I see Member Grant interested. Yes. One more around the table. Taddison. And anyone else with interest? Okay, that the following board members be appointed to the Finance Committee for 2026. Member Cridland, Member Foster, or Chair Foster, Vice Chair Metcalf, Member Grant, Member Taddison. Mover? Grant, seconder. Cridland, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. We have one more here. Appointments to the Governance Committee. Again, minimum 5 members. All board members are welcome to attend committee meetings. Only appointed members will be afforded voting rights on matters before the committee. If members express interest in joining committee later, a motion can be passed to add them to the committee. So looking to the clerk with the chair and vice chair, we're looking for 3 more members. And Member Cridland has expressed interest, so 2 more members. We have Woodavine and Seaborn. Any others? Okay. So we have a motion before us that the following board members be appointed to the Governance Committee for 2026. Member Cridland, Member Woodavine, Member Seaborn, Chair Foster, Vice Chair Metcalf. Mover? Grant? Member Grant, seconder. Member Cridland, all in favor? Carried. Wonderful. Signing authorities. We now look to confirm signing officers for the 2026 business year. Can I get a mover and seconder on the motion that was included in the agenda package? That the authorities, Chair Foster and Vice Chair Metcalf, and the Chief Administrative Officer, Secretary Treasurer Leilani Lee Yates, and Director Corporate Services Lise Gagnon, or any 2 of them, are hereby authorized to sign, make, draw, accept, endorse, and deliver checks, promissory notes, bills of exchange, orders for the payment of money, and such agreements and instruments as may be necessary or useful in connection with the operation of said account. And further, that any one of the above-mentioned officers is hereby authorized for and in the name of the organization to endorse and transfer to the bank for deposit or discount with any collection by a bank, but for the credit of the organization only, checks, promissory notes, bills of exchange, orders for the payment of money and other instruments to arrange, settle, balance, and certify all books and accounts with the bank and to sign receipts for vouchers. Ooh, chairs, I don't know you do this every day. Can I get a mover? Mover, Metcalf, seconder, Seaborn, all in favor? Carried. Now we're moving to appointments of auditors. That the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority appoints KPMG LLP as its auditors for the 2026 fiscal year. Mover? Woodavine, seconder, Foster, all in favor? Carried. Now that concludes the elections and appointments of officers. Thank you all for your continued commitment to the NPCA. I will now pass it over to Member Chair Foster to chair the meeting. So if we can take a couple minutes. No, that's fine.
Sorry, everyone. I have to get ready for the State of the Region, so my apologies. I won't be here for the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Member Grant.
There's no shot.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and let us get on to the meeting portion of our meeting. Now, let's just see here. These are all written out in John Metcalf style, so we're going to have to take a look at that.
adjust,
Can I get Member Metcalf and Member Beatty to move and second the approval of the minutes from the December 19th meeting and closed session meeting? Any comments to the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. Chair's update. So, number of things. I've been so busy as the chair in the last 2 minutes. First of all, I will say it's an honor to be stepping back into the role. And I just want to personally thank Member Metcalf and Member Beatty for the exceptional work that they've done over the last 2 years. I will suggest to you that we haven't seen anything like what we've seen with Conservation Authority areas probably since, they were originally created. There's lots of, I like the commentary, and Member Tatis and I both thought it was rough waters comment is certainly appropriate for the NPCA when we talk about this. I'm looking forward to helping us get through this. I'm looking forward to our board doing a lot of really good work over the next year. We don't know what the waters are yet, but we're all going to work together to see how best we can do it. So if you might have noticed, if anybody has any interest in Niagara politics, there was a little meeting last night over at the region where we were having a very calm, collected discussion about what the future is going to look like. So it isn't just with conservation areas. We certainly are going to be seeing some interesting things on the political front as well. So I'm going to leave it at that. And so just to let you know, we're going to be pushing to go through things relatively quickly. There is both the CAO and a number of us as members need to be at a meeting in Niagara Falls just a little after 11. So hopefully we get through everything in a timely manner. So correspondence. So we actually have 30 items of correspondence. Okay, but we're going to actually do it as a block. So can I get Member Cridlin to move that we accept the correspondence as a block? And can I get Member Seaborn to second that, please? Okay. Does anybody want to talk about any of the individual correspondence pieces by themselves? Okay, go ahead, Member Cridlin.
Through you, Chair, and congratulations. Again, in the spirit of wanting to keep things brief, I did have a couple of comments, but really just to amplify the work and the effort that's been put forward by all of the people and the organizations. I'll call out the Niagara, the Niagara Biodiversity and Climate Action group that also put in one of the correspondence. But there's, with over the 30 pieces, 17 are from townships that have put their minds to this effort. 11 more from CAs and 2 other organizations. So I just want to call out the work that's been done in the effort and the call for this to be done right. So lots of themes in there. Maybe we'll comment more on it next meeting if needed. But thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Cridlin, and I was remiss for not asking if anybody wanted to vote on any of the pieces of correspondence separately. Otherwise, it will be as a block. So seeing none with that. So seeing no other comments, all those in favor? And that is carried. Let us move into our presentations this morning. And our first presentation, in memory of Brian Lee. On January 17th, we sadly lost Brian Lee, a long-standing member of NPCA's GIS team who brought plenty of joy and laughter to the office. I will invite our CAO forward to commemorate Brian.
Thank you, Chair Voster. I do want to recognize the work of our staff who pulled this slide deck together and these wonderful notes that I will read out to you today. So I'm going to signal to Gina, I see, and Erica are setting this up. So we just do want to take a moment to honor someone who meant a great deal to us at the NPCA, Brian Lee, who sadly recently passed away. And as we prepared for this moment, we reached out across the organization for memories and reflections, whether through photos, written notes, or even quick chats and teams. And the response was overwhelming, though not surprising, because Brian was genuinely loved and appreciated by all who knew him. One thing I may not fully capture in these few minutes is just how hilarious he was, equal parts witty, sarcastic, and unafraid to speak his mind. And he had a way of making you laugh while also just keeping it real. And that bold humor was one of the many things that made Brian so unforgettable. He was with us for 7 years as our GIS administrator, and in that time, he left a huge mark that will not fade easily. Professionally, he was exceptional. If you had a GIS issue, Brian could solve it. If there was a better, smarter way to do something with data, he had already thought about it and was probably already building it, like the many apps he did for us. He pushed us all to incorporate GIS into our work, and our organization is stronger because of him. But beyond his talent, Brian was something even more important. He was present. He was there for people. Many of you here will remember asking Brian how he was doing, and instead of a typical answer, he'd simply reply with the day of the week, Tuesday. And somehow that said everything. And as the week progressed, so did his outlook, and it was such a small thing, but so very Brian. He had a great sense of humor. He mentored generously. He took time, like real time, with people, whether that meant sitting down with someone before a meeting to help them prepare or jumping into troubleshooting a problem. He was always ready to lend a hand, and you could hear his quick stride coming down the hall when he was on his way to help. Brian's true passion, of course, was golf. A lifelong scratch handicapper, a former golf professional, and even the first caddy for LPGA star Brooke Henderson during her first tour win. He loved the game deeply. He also loved sports talk, skiing, new shoes, and yes, finding the best stash of chocolate and candy in the office, which I think was probably Lee's, but there may be competitors out there. Brian's impact lives on in the systems he built, the people he mentored, and the countless Brianisms that still echo through our halls. Brian, you are deeply missed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Leilani, for this. Our sincerest condolences to Brian's loved ones and to his whole team and to the NPCA itself, a big loss. Can I get Member Beatty to move and Member Metcalf to second that the presentation in memory of Brian Lee, 1963-2026, be received? All those in favor? Great, thank you very much. Thank you, Leilani. Next, also, I guess it's kind of you and kind of Misty. This is going on. So, NPCA Employee Service Recognition for 2025. So, Misty and Leilani, please take it away.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you to the team for preparing that presentation. For Brian, still tear up at it, so fantastic. Thank you for honoring that. So good afternoon, members of the board. Thank you for allowing me the pleasure to introduce today's service anniversary presentations. This is an extremely meaningful part of our year, an opportunity to recognize the people whose dedication, professionalism, skill, and everyday contribution shape the success of the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority. Our honorees represent a wide range of roles and backgrounds, but they share a common thread. They show up with commitment, resilience, and pride in their work. Their years of service reflect not only loyalty, but the trust they place in this organization and the pride they take in contributing to its success. As we celebrate these milestones, we're also celebrating the relationships, the teamwork, the dedication, and the impact these staff make across our organization. I'm grateful for the continued support and service of our employees and for the environment they help to create. With that, it's my pleasure to begin recognizing this year's service anniversary recipients. I will ask staff being recognized that are present to please come forward along with their manager or director who will take the opportunity to share a little bit more about their contributions. So to start off, celebrating 5 years is Carly Fazikis, who is our water quality technician, and I'll invite Josh to say a few words about Carly. Yeah, sure.
Good morning, everybody. Carly Fazikis joined the watershed monitoring and reporting team about 2.5 years ago, and she's been a great addition. She's had 5 years service. She was out in the parks. She did a tremendous job out in the conservation areas, and when we had an opening come into our department, she applied for a job, and she's been an excellent addition to the watershed monitoring team. She's a big asset for the Conservation Authority, and I'd like to congratulate Carly for her time, 5 years service. Great to have her as part of our team and the NPCA. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to recognize, also celebrating 5 years of service, Nick Bradley, who is our planning technician, and I'll invite David, our Director of Planning and Development, to say a few words.
Thank you, Misty. So Nick joined our department maybe not quite 5 years ago. He was in a few of the other departments first, but as I think you had said before, that you've literally worked under every director in the organization now at some point. So anyways, Nick has now landed in our department. Very fortunate to have Nick. He is the first point of contact when someone calls the NPCA. He's our planning technician, so he fields all the general inquiries, phone calls, emails, which helps our team immensely by freeing up time for the planners to focus on application processing. In his spare time, Nick is part of a band known as Highway 3 and does gigs around the watershed. It's been great having Nick in our department. Look forward to his continual presence in our department. Congratulations.
Thank you. Another 5-year celebration, Taryn Leonard, Watershed Planner 2.
So again, Taryn's been in our department for 5 years, joined us during COVID, which was an interesting way of orientating a new employee. But Taryn started off as a planner, watershed planner, and then in 2023, he was promoted to planner, or watershed planner 2. Taryn does a lot of application processing to the tune of, and this stat is approximate, but in the last 5 years, over 1,400 applications he's been involved with of different types. So Taryn has been growing in his experience and his knowledge. He's very useful to all the rest of the team, helping mentor other planners in the team. Taryn takes on more of our intermediate and complex applications. Again, very fortunate to have Taryn in our department and appreciate your contributions. Congratulations.
Also celebrating 5 years, we have Emily Rush, who is our Education Program Coordinator. Emily is off right now, but I'll invite Alicia Powell, our Manager of Conservation Area Programs and Services, to say a few words.
Thank you, Misty. Well, Emily is enjoying a much deserved vacation. And while the paper says that she's been with the NPCA for 5 years, she's actually been with us for quite a lot longer than that, starting out as park attendant at our home park at Binbrook Conservation Area back in 2016. There's probably only a few of us that can say that we've had as many different roles as Emily's had over her course of time with the NPCA and within the Conservation Area Services Division. Her roles have included a lifeguard over at Binney Shores, answering questions in the gatehouse, conducting park maintenance, and the very esteemed position of Park Services Rep at Binbrook Conservation Area. But I was so fortunate to have Emily come on board and join our team in Conservation Area Programs and Services as our educational coordinator. And I truly say Emily brings this calm, refined, kind nature to everything that she does, working with our educational partners, with our education programs, and restoring the vitality of our nature school, which runs at Falls Falls Conservation Area. Happy 5th consecutive work anniversary, Emily, and thank you for all of these many years of exceptional service to the NPCA. I'm looking forward to a stellar season and many more ahead with you.
Thank you, Alicia, and we'll call you right back up, celebrating 10 years or a little bit more as well, Alicia Powell. And Adam Christie will come and say a few words.
Certainly not as pretty. I am honored to recognize Alicia Powell for her 10/11 years of outstanding services with the NPCA, marked by a remarkable progression from frontline conservation area operations to her current role as manager of conservation area programs and services. Through her leadership in education, programming expansion, partnership building, and public engagement, Alicia has become an exceptional ambassador for the NPCA, embodying a commitment to environmental stewardship, education, and community connections. Congratulations, Alicia.
Moving on to 15 years of service, we'll first recognize Mariah Tempest, who is our land care coordinator, and I'll invite Adam to say a few words about Mariah.
Okay, yeah, I'm honored to recognize Mariah Tempest for her 15 years, for her many dedicated services, commitment to the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority, marked by a steady progression through a wide range of operational roles since joining the NPCA in 2010. From frontline field operations to acting superintendent responsibilities, Mariah's experience and dedication to NPCA's conservation areas have made a lasting contribution to our Conservation Authority and area's long-term goals. So congratulations, Mariah.
Also celebrating 15 years, we have Amy Parks, our manager of planning ecology.
So again, another longtime employee who's had various roles in NPCA. Amy started out as a forestry technician when we were doing the region's tree and forest bylaw, then became an ecological technician, and then finally she's landed on, well, then regulations officer, and then finally landed on manager of planning ecology. So she's done quite a big tour of the organization. Amy's been a strong force within the department, very knowledgeable, great sense of humor. She's helped us get through some of the bad times and keeping things light in the office, which is really appreciated. Amy, what else? Yeah, she's respected by her peers and staff alike, and we're very fortunate to have Amy on our team, especially in the management section of our team. Congratulations, Amy.
All right, a few more to go. We're moving on to 20 years, celebrating 20 years. Bob Hayslip, who is our regulations officer. So I'll invite David back to say a few words.
So Bob has been in the NPCA for in various roles. He mainly worked out of conservation areas up until about 2022, where he joined our regulations team. Bob is has a good composure when dealing with difficult situations. He's good under pressure. Very fortunate to have him as part of our team. Dealing with compliance and enforcement is not an easy role, but Bob is a great asset to us in that role. When not working at NPCA, Bob can be found out fishing or playing hockey. Very happy to have Bob on our compliance team and look forward to his continued service with us.
We have another 20-year recipient, Steve Gillis, Supervisor of Watershed Restoration and Stewardship. And I'll invite Jeff Vercade up to say a few words about Steve.
Good morning. For 2 decades, Steve has embodied the values, mission, and essence of the NPCA. His commitment to environmental stewardship, his professionalism, and his collaborative approach have made him an indispensable member of our team and a trusted colleague across the organization. Throughout his tenure, Steve has consistently demonstrated a deep respect for our watershed, a keen attention to detail, and a willingness to support others, qualities that have contributed significantly to the success of countless NPCA restoration projects and initiatives. His work has helped strengthen our conservation efforts, enhance the health of our natural areas, and support meaningful partnerships within the community. Beyond his technical expertise, Steve is known for his reliability, steady leadership, and the positive, thoughtful presence he brings to every task. His contributions over the past 20 years have had a lasting impact on both the organization, partners, and watershed residents we serve. Sincere thanks to Steve for his dedication, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to conservation. His service is deeply valued, and we are grateful for all he has helped the NPCA to achieve. Congratulations, Steve. Many more. Looking forward to your ongoing leadership.
So I'd like to conclude our milestone anniversary recognition here, but I've been asked to turn it over to Leilani for one more.
One very important more, Misty Ferrucci, 10 years with the NPCA. So Misty joined us in 2015 and has been fundamental to the transformation of corporate human resources policies and procedures in strengthening the relationships between management and staff. Over the 10 years, she's led the development of, and I counted this, and there could be more, 47 foundational corporate policies, including our code of conduct, recruitment policies, health and safety policies, and our customer service standards. She's enhanced our performance review and work planning process to ensure staff and managers establish clear goals and work together to achieve desired outcomes. Through her work with the union and senior leadership, we have successfully negotiated collective agreements, compensation reviews, implemented organizational realignments, and a talent management plan that have positioned the NPCA as a desirable employer. She's not only led us through policy and process improvements to strengthen our organization, but also supports all our staff and encourages continuous professional development. She truly does care about each and every one of us, and we're grateful for all she's done for the NPCA. Congratulations to 10 years, and here's to 10 plus more years. And with that, Mr. Chair, we are done the recognition.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you, Misty, for all you've done over the last number of years. We are a far better organization today with all of you doing your work, but Misty certainly has had her hands full in the last number of years. So there's a motion that the presentation regarding the NPCA Employee Service Recognition 2025 be received. Can I get Member Clark to move that and Member O'Neill to second it, please?
I think Member Clark seconded.
Yep. Great. All those in favor? That's carried. Next is our NPCA year in review. And so I'm going to turn this over once again to the CAO for a quick review of 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And in the spirit of moving things along, I won't say too much to introduce this video other than a huge thank you for our staff, because this reflects all the work that you do, all the passion you bring to the job, and all the strong partnerships that we have forged over the last few years. So I'll let the video speak for itself, but there's a tremendous team behind this video. Shout out to communications, Rob and Erica, Sophia, others, and all our staff who pulled this information together. We look forward to showcasing all the work we do throughout the year and bragging about how awesome we are here at the NPCA. So with that, we'll play the video.
Across the Niagara Peninsula watershed, the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority protects and restores the natural systems that sustain life. Forests, wetlands, shorelines, and rivers that provide clean water, healthy habitats, and resilience in a changing climate. Every day, on-the-ground monitoring helps us understand how our watershed is changing, tracking water quality, stream flows, forests, and ecosystems. This integrated approach ensures every restoration, every habitat renewed, every tree planted is informed, strategic, and effective. Together, this work strengthens the land, protects water, supports wildlife, and helps communities thrive, ensuring future generations inherit landscapes that are healthy, vibrant, and resilient. As our communities grow, thoughtful planning is essential, balancing development, safety, and environmental protection. We work closely with municipalities, landowners, and partners to manage natural hazards, reduce risk to people and property, and support innovative and resilient development. Grounded in decades of science and technical expertise, we help communities make informed decisions and plan confidently for the future, while stewarding the lands and waters that make this area unique. Connecting people to nature is at the heart of what we do. From parks and trails to educational programs and community events, we create opportunities that inspire curiosity, learning, and stewardship. We are committed to nature for all, working to ensure people of every age, ability, and background can access and enjoy the outdoors. Every visit deepens the connection between people and the land they call home. Partnerships are the foundation of our impact. We collaborate with Indigenous communities, municipalities, researchers, and conservation partners to amplify our work, share knowledge, and achieve goals that no one organization can accomplish alone. From restoration and invasive species management to climate-ready shorelines and land protection, our shared efforts build healthier and more resilient communities. Behind every initiative is a team committed to excellence, applying expertise, innovation, and care to ensure every decision is informed and delivers lasting value to people and nature. Our journey toward climate resilience continues to guide our work and position NPCA as a leader in climate-ready conservation. With decades of experience and a new generation of conservation professionals rising, we remain focused on growing, modernizing, and innovating for the future. Through sound governance, diversified funding, and strategic investment, we are strengthening NPCA for the future. This is more than conservation. It is a legacy of connection, impact, and care for people and the environment. Together, we can serve what matters for generations to come.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I am going to ask for a motion now regarding the 2025 year in review, and I'm going to ask Member Metcalf to move that. And Member Beattie, can you second that, please? All in favor? And that is carried. We have a delegation this morning from the Conservation Foundation. I'd like to invite Brett Harrington to the podium to provide a delegation.
Great, thank you. Board members and staff, thanks for having us update what's going on with the foundation on our growth and progress. We prepared a presentation for you, and I know we're all excited to get to the state of the region, but I have made a few other notes of items I'd like to go over. The NPCF pillars have been and will continue to be nature for all, for always. More trees, restore canopy, wetland, and climate resilience. More natural spaces, secure and protect more land. More access, empower people of all abilities to explore our lands. More engagement and education, inspire the next generation of stewards. Here are some of the highlights of 2025. We obtained $50,000 from the Niagara Community Foundation for wetland watershed project in Welland, $10,000 in a multi-year agreement with the Ontario Paper Thorold Foundation, $5,000 multi-year Rotary Club of Niagara Falls, $14,900 from the TD Friends of the Environment, $5,000 AODA MAT at Chippewa Creek, $5,000 matching donor for Giving Tuesday, and $7,775 from the Director's Challenge. The Land of Legacy event was celebrated, 10 years of Comfort Maple Pens, and the Vicky DeFrusco and Family Legacy Project. We also had $3,000 in education bursaries awarded. Here's a revenue comparison graph over the last 3 years. You can see we had a significant spike in revenue in 2024. While we did see a drop in 2025, we've generally maintained a trend of growth. We've built the foundation to have the best processes and people, and we aim to continue that growth in 2026. The donations line here we see includes grants. The events includes Balls Falls, the Winter Solstice. Programs include the Comfort Maple Pens, the Memorial Benches, and the other includes investment revenue and interest. This is some of the community engagement we've had in 2025 as we continue to grow awareness and partnerships. The Brock Experiential Learning Program, the GNCC Business After 5, Hamilton Chamber of Commerce Business After 5, Nature Hamilton Rotary Clubs, all with the goal of networking and building awareness and relationships. Earth Day Online campaign and the Pelham event, Niagara Networks and Industry Collaborative, International Plowing Match, and the NCF 25th anniversary. Land to Legacy event and the Winter Solstice concert. Balls Falls Thanksgiving Festival and the 50-50 draw. Community tree plantings, TD, Rotary, Seaway, and some with the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority directly. Joint table at the GNCC Business Summit. We attended the State of the Region and Elevate Conference. Giving Tuesday with 5,000 match achieved. And First Ontario Performing Arts Centre sponsorship. We continue to build momentum in 2026. With board recruitment, we've added 3 new members. And we had 14 applications for those 3 members, which is an incredible amount of interest. Art in Action, Climate Community Sponsorship. The First Ontario PAC Family Day and Seedy Saturdays. David Suzuki Events, First Ontario PAC. Revenue generation program that we're working on tapping wine, beer, cider, and spirits industry. Signature event that we were planning in conjunction with the NPCA on July 24th at Balls Falls that we're all very excited about. And we're going to continue engagement within the community to further build awareness of what we are all trying to achieve. We all know the political landscape in Niagara and beyond is changing, but the need to protect the environment is ever present. The NPCF's support of the NPCA's strategic goal is unwavering. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Any questions on the presentation? Excellent, by the way. Thank you. I would like to, or I'm going to have a motion that the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Foundation delegation and presentation, there's a lot of Asians in there, be received. Councillor Witteveen and Member Cridland, please. Any questions? All those in favor? That's carried. Let us turn the page. We have no consent items. We do have one discussion item this morning. What time is it? 10:19. Would it be okay to move that one to our next meeting? Okay. So we will push that particular report to the next meeting. Are there any motions to be brought forward for the board's consideration this morning? And I see none. So any notices of motion?
Should we just get a motion to defer?
Oh, yes. We'll go back to that. Is there any new business that anyone wishes to bring up this morning? And by the way, I've been pointed out by our wonderful clerk person here that I really should have had a deferral motion on that. So can I get Member Witteveen and Member Cridland to move and second that we defer the discussion item 12.1 to our next meeting? All those in favor? That's carried. There's no closed session, and with that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Have a great day, everyone.